Hi everyone. Today I'll be demonstrating a number of exercises that incorporate this dining chair here. Now, if your chair does have armrests, that is okay. However, I would prefer that you use a surface that doesn't have any little things that are going to get in the road of your arms. So starting off, coming into a seated position up on top of your chair. So I'm going to take a seat right on the edge of my chair here, so right on the very edge so that I can sit up really nice and tall. I'm keeping my feet about hip distance apart and my shoulders are back and down and relaxed. Now to begin with, I'm just going to do a little bit of breathing to focus on really opening up through my spine. So I'm placing my hands on my rib cage here, and as I take a deep breath in through my nose, I want to feel my rib cage expand underneath my fingertips. And as I exhale through my mouth, I want to feel my rib cage gently deflate. So I'm going to feel my ribs really moving around. So make sure that you just get in a good rhythm of breathing, so diaphragmatic breathing, so making sure that there is movement through your rib cage, making sure that you're not just breathing in the upper quadrants of the lungs. So we'll stay here for about 15 seconds, just getting in a really good rhythm of breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, and making sure that you really are getting that good oxygen really throughout the entire lung. So using your whole lung capacity, so breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay, from here we're going to go into an abdominal exercise. Now what I love about this one is that there are so many variations that you can do, but also you do not need to push yourself necessarily too hard. So you've got a nice little opportunity to push yourself as much as you'd like. I've got my arms out in front of me here. If your shoulders give you a little bit of grief when you reach up above 90 degrees, feel free to just place your hands on opposite shoulders. So from here, I'm keeping the weight through my heels just lightly, and then from going into a really nice tall seated position, I'm going to scoop my tailbone and roll back. So really staying upright through my upper body, but peeling back through my spine, and then I'm coming all the way back up into a tall posture. So scoop the tailbone, peeling down, so not rolling down too far as long as you can still feel your tummy, and then rolling all the way back up into the seated position. Now you can absolutely do this on the floor and have your body roll down a little further. This is just a really nice gentle option that you can do during an ad break on the TV. So peeling down, scoop the tailbone and roll back, and then come all the way back up. Now this is level 1. If you would like a little bit more of a challenge, you can come down with me now. Peel back, and we'll bring up one leg, and then we'll place it back down. Then we bring the other leg up, tabletop, and then place it back down, and then roll all the way back up into a seated position. So peeling down, now make sure that you feel connection from hip bone to hip bone. Exhale, one leg up, inhale, leg back down, and then we go over to the other side. Leg comes up, tabletop, and then place it back down on the floor. So we're just going to stay here for about 30 more seconds. Peeling down, drawing in through the belly button, we're going to bring up one leg tabletop, place it back down, then the other, and place it back down. We'll roll back up, and let's do one more repetition here. Shoulders are back and down, peeling back into the C-shaped spine, one leg up tabletop, place it back down, and then we bring the other leg up tabletop and we place it back down. Excellent work. Okay, arms might be a little bit tired from holding that position, but now here what we're going to do is bring our hips just a little further back into the chair. Lots of different options again for this one. This is just going into single leg extensions, but to make it a little more challenging, rather than simply extending the leg straight out in front of you, see if you can initially lift the knee, so you're opening up through the hip, lift up, then extend, then bend, and then place the foot back down. Now, the really challenging thing is here, and I'll show you side on, it is really tempting as you bring that leg up here into that position to roll back. Do your best to sit up as tall as possible, and I would avoid even coming all the way back into the back of the chair, because then you can really cheat by pushing your body back over the chair. So do your best to sit up right over the top of your tailbone, draw your belly button into your spine, and then we're going to lift up through the right leg first, extend the leg away, return the leg back in, and then place the foot back down. Lifting up through the left leg, extend away, return back in, and place the foot back down. Now, little progression here, if you can tolerate a little bit more. I'm going to start on the left leg. We lift up, extend, then I'm going to point, flex the ankle, and then bend the knee, then place the foot back down. So lift, extend, point, flex, then bend and come back in. Lift, extend, point, flex, bend, and return back in. So this is really getting some nice movement through our hips, knees, and ankles. So a really good one to do if we've been seated for a while. I've been addressing about 500 envelopes there, not that many. We're not allowed to have that many people to our wedding, but I have been doing lots of sitting. So this is really wonderful for bringing some movement back into my hips. And we're going to finish off with one more on the right. Lift, extend, point, flex, bend, and place that foot back down. Fantastic work. Okay, from here now we're going to go into a side-to-side reach through the shoulders. So I'm going to do a little rotation of my chair so you can see me a little better here. Sitting up nice and tall, always, over the top of the pelvis. And now I'm going to extend my arms out to a capital T. So my middle fingers are aligned with each other and my palms are facing down towards the floor. I'm going to keep my feet about hip distance apart here, and I'm going to keep my chest really proud, so try not to lean forwards with this one. What I'm going to do here now is I'm going to start on this hand to begin with, so I'm going to open my palm up towards the ceiling, and then I'm going to reach as far towards the right side of the room as I can without letting my little left hip lift off the seat. Then I return all the way back in and turn that palm back down towards the floor. Now I'm going to open up my other palm and I'm going to reach as far to the side as I can and then return back in and then return that palm back down towards the floor. So little open up of the palm, reach as far as possible, return back in and then point that palm back down towards the floor. Then the other palm opens. So it's a little side to side reach, as if you're trying to reach something that's just over the other side of the table that you're trying to reach for. And then return back in, palm turns back to the floor. Open, reach, return, and point to the palm to the floor. Of course, you can challenge yourself by doing this in a standing position. However, I really like to do this in a seated position because you get a lot more kinesthetic feedback from your hips if you're cheating by really shifting your hips out of the way. We are going to do one more to each side, reaching as far as possible, return and palm to the floor, and last one here. Reach to the side, and then return back and bring your palm to the floor. Beautiful work. Shoulders are probably quite fatigued with that movement, so a little option that you can do instead, if that was too much for your shoulders, is just do a side-to-side sway. Not leaning forwards, but really trying to get a lateral shift through the spine. So you'll see here, I'm keeping my hips where they are, but I'm really moving my upper body as far to the side as I possibly can. Okay, nice little roll through the shoulders here, and then we're going to go into a little bit of hip mobility. So I'm going to shuffle up to the edge of my seat again. I'm going to bring my feet quite wide, so just wider than hip distance apart, and now I'm going to open my knees out really wide and then return them all the way back in. So I'm just opening and closing through my hip joint here as much as possible, and this is just lubricating my hip joint. So it's really good to take our joints to their end range when we can in a really nice gentle way, because we are most prone to injury at the end range of motion. So when we fully extend ourselves, so say you're really stretching your shoulder right back behind you, that's when we're really at an increased risk of injury. So we want to strengthen our joints by taking them through their full range of motion as much as we possibly can. And this is a really easy one to do while you're watching TV, even though it looks a little bit funny. Let's go 3 more here, open and close. And 2, and last one here. Beautiful. Okay, shuffling back just to the middle of your chair. Feet should be about hip distance apart now, and I'm going to take my right hand down to the outside of my left foot. So I'm taking my hand over to the outside of the opposite foot. Now my palms are going to come together, and from here I'm going to watch that hand as I reach right up towards the ceiling, and then I'm going to come all the way back down. So keep those knees apart, and then really open up, twist and rotate through the spine. Now this is a tricky movement. So what you can do here if this is too much for your shoulder is bring your hand to your shoulder and just open your chest to the ceiling and then return it back down. And open your chest to the ceiling and bring it back down. This is just trying to bring as much rotation into the spine as possible. So twist and rotate opening up, and I'll just give you a little side view of this one. My hand is towards my opposite foot, and then I twist and rotate, reaching that hand right up towards the ceiling. Now, it doesn't matter if the knees come towards each other, but you really are trying to get a nice twist through the spine, keeping both sit bones ground onto the chair. Opening right up, and then close all the way back down. Let's go over to the other side. So now my hands are going to come to the outside of my other foot now. I'm drawing my belly button into my spine, and then from here I open this arm. Oh, that's a really nice stretch. And then I come all the way back down. So you don't need to maintain a neutral spine here. You can have a nice rounded spine, because what we're focusing on here is having our spine in a really nice relaxed position so that our little spinal stabilizers can get a nice stretch through this movement. So we don't want too much contraction through those spinal stabilizers. For those of you that like to know the ins and outs of the technical side behind these movements, we're going to do 2 more here. Really open and stretch, and then close all the way back down. And then we'll do one final little seated open rotation. Fantastic. And then bring that hand all the way back down. Beautiful. Okay, haven't got too many more to go. What we're going to do here now is bring the feet out as wide as possible. And I might even come a little further back so you can see me. So my feet are wide and my toes are turning outwards. You do not have to come all the way up to standing here. And if you like, you can do this near a kitchen bench so that you've got a little bit of support with the stand up. Now, the goal here is to not let those knees collapse inwards. So keep those knees spiraling outwards. I'm then going to lean forward so that my weight can stay through my heels and I can come all the way up to standing. Oh, and I've cut my little head off. I'm going to come back a little further. So, keeping those toes turned outwards and come all the way up to standing, and then poke the bottom out to sit all the way back down. So to remember to make this easier, you can put a cushion on your chair, or you can do it from a higher surface. But it's really good to practice sitting to standing without needing to press through those thighs or use your armrests on a chair to stand up. So keep those knees spiraling outwards and really press through those heels to stand up. So remember the little cue, nose over toes. So my nose is leaning forwards, almost past my toes, and then I can stand up without my knees hurting. So if you do this exercise and you're feeling your knees, let me know at the gym and I can give you a little few pointers to stop those knees from hurting. Little progression here, stand up, coming up onto the toes, heels back down, and sit back down. Standing up tall, coming up onto the toes, heels back down, and then sit back down. We'll do 5 more here. Standing up onto the toes, heels back on the floor and sit back down, and 4, up onto the toes and lower. We'll go 3 more here. Keep those knees spiraling outwards, up onto the toes, lower, sitting back down, and 2, standing up tall, lift and lower. And let's go one last one here. Standing up tall, lift, lower, and sitting back down. Okay, nearing the end. So we're going into some shoulder mobility here. So I'm going to take a little seat. And then we're going to go into a movement called open the window. So those of you that do Pilates with me will recognize this movement. And I've actually brought it into for some of your gym programs as well. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring my elbows and palms together. Now, there are a few variations of this one that I really like. Simply, you're just going to be opening your arms out to goalposts and then closing all the way back in. Now, the problem with this movement here is that a lot of the time we do it in a slouched position. So what I would really like you to try and do is extend your spine, so lift the chest to the ceiling, then open the arms out wide, then close all the way, and then you can relax through the spine. So side on, lots of little changes in position today. What I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to extend the spine a little bit. So you'll see here, my chest is really proud, and then I open the arms out wide, pulling my shoulder blades together behind me, then I close and relax. Now, a little difference here, what you can do instead is just do a little chest lift to the ceiling and then close. And chest lift to the ceiling and close. Alternatively, if you can, open the arms out wide to a little goalpost position and then close. Extend, open, and close. We'll do 3 more here. Extend the spine, open the arms, close the spine, relax. Let's do 2 more. Extend the spine, open the arms, close the arms, and relax. And let's do 1 more. Extend the spine, open the arms, close the arms, and relax. Beautiful work. Final little set of mobility exercises. I'm going to use my chair for support here. You do not have to, especially if you're fabulous with your balance. But I'm going to bring up my right leg. So I'm going to bring it up nice and high and then do a nice big pedaling motion. So this is a bit of hip mobility, and if you choose to take your hands away, it's a really good balance exercise as well, because we're really challenging our left leg when we're moving our right leg around to stabilize as we shift our body weight all over the place. So we're going to go 5 more pedals in this direction. We're going to do 10 per side. 3 and 2 and last one, and now I'm going over to the other foot. So now I'm balancing on my right leg as my left leg is doing some nice big pedals. Great big pedals. And we'll go for 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1 and rest there. Fantastic work. Okay, final little set of mobility work. Gonna get my chair right out of the road. I'm holding onto opposite shoulders. Now remember, move within your range today. So if you're feeling a little bit dizzy and you don't want to bring your head below the line of your heart, only do nice little circles right up at the top here. Nice little circles going in this direction. However, if you're feeling like you can go a little deeper into this movement, you can draw a nice big circle with your body. So really like you're pulling your little shoulders back and down, away from your ears, and just draw nice big circles through the upper body. Now, sometimes I make myself a bit dizzy doing this one, so go gently with it, and then we'll change directions. So, inhale at the top, exhale, inhale up and around, exhale on the way down. Inhale up and around, exhale on the way down, and let's do one more. Inhale up and around, exhale on the way down. Can hang out at the feet for just a second, and then when you're ready, gently roll up, circle the arms up and around, and you are all done. Thank you all. I hope you are having a lovely weekend, and I will send you through a video in the next week or 2. Thank you all. Bye.